It's Tuesday night, 10 p.m., and it's a C3 podcast.
I guess you've heard of my reputation. I've had my share of fooling around. But everybody needs stimulation.
I had fun, man. Just out, you guys joking. We working at the same time, putting the work in as a team. Like I said, man, I'm just glad to be with the guys,
My favorite night of the week.
Good Lord, it's a good day to be a Panthers fan. And we the best. You heard them say it. We are the best, Joe. And we put it on them right. What's up, Panther fans? It's your boy, the Professor, a.k.a. Tony Dunn. And this is the post-Christmas special. Merry Christmas, everybody. We had the show a couple of days before, maybe 4 or 5 days before Christmas. We were so wrapped up in the Panthers, I don't even think I mentioned it. So I would like to wish a Merry Christmas to my two best friends right here, Joe Riolano and Mel Mayock. Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Tony. Merry Christmas to you. I hope your holidays were well and festive, and I'm sure Santa Claus was good to you and your family.
Yeah, man, it was a blast, and I'm exhausted still. Super exhausted. Mel, how was did you have a good Christmas, man?
I did, man. It's always good. I'm wearing one of my favorite gifts. I was just telling Joe before the show, man, guys like us, we're the easiest people to have in the family when it comes to Christmas. Get us anything Panthers, we're happy.
That's it.
Raise your hand if you're wearing Christmas Panther gear on C3 podcast. Everybody, yeah. I wanted to do something. Look, guys, I hosted Christmas for both sides of my family, right? So we were busy, and then we have the three kids. So, yeah, we were rocking and rolling. So the website has been neglected a bit by myself, and I want to do next year. Someone remind me. I want to do send us pictures of your Christmas.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Good idea.
Just so we can post it on the website and show this is because that we're not the only Panther fans that get like this. My sister-in-law, wasn't necessarily probably going to spend a ton of money on myself for me because, everybody got to buy Christmas presents for. But what did she do? She put together a little box that had a Panthers decal for my car, this hat.
Nice.
And you know what? It was small, but one of the best gifts I got the whole Christmas.
Heck yeah.
Wow.
So
that's great. Right, Emily putting it together for you.
I think so. I mean, those small things for a fan, a decal for your car, a new hat, a new shirt. Right. I mean, those
a cam wow.
Yeah, a cam wow. Why don't you guys get off the dime and buy some? That's what we should have done. By the way, I got an old three-peat shirt on too. I gave myself this for Christmas. Tonight's show, guys, is the toughest loss. This is episode 16-4-7. We're going to be talking about the Panthers being swept by the Atlanta Falcons. And what was not necessarily the most important game for anybody, but one that certainly hurt. I felt hurt my feelings on Christmas to watch the Panthers lose to the Falcons for the second time this year. So we'll talk a little bit about that. We'll talk about some things that Mel has got going on the website about salary caps, where we need to allocate money, how we should be planning ahead. And I think Mel also wants to share the C3 Fantasy Football Challenge winner tonight. So we got a good show, even though we're kind of sad and in our Christmas hangover. Yeah. And we thank everybody for joining us. There's a lot to comment on Twitter using the hashtag C3. If you're watching on YouTube, which I see you are, please give us a thumbs up. All you got to do is click a little button, a little thumbs up. Right, give us a share. Tell Tell somebody about the show and tell them this is where Panther fans come together every Tuesday night. And people listening to the podcast later on iTunes, Stitcher, do the same. Tell a buddy. I know you're all friends with Panther fans. You talk with each other. Tell them about the show. Tell them to become part of the C3 family, and even consider donating $1 a month and buying the crew beer for all the hard work they do week in and week out. Joe, we lost. We lost to the Atlanta Falcons.
Swept for the year.
All right, where are you guys feeling right now? I feel like, to me, this is what hurts the most. That hurt. That's why I said the toughest loss. I'd rather sweep the Falcons sometimes than even making the playoffs.
Right.
Yeah, like the Giants right now. Even if they don't have the best of year this year, they're like, we are the 2 in 13-2 for the Cowboys, right? So when you got your biggest rival, you want to take them out. Growing up, I was a Cowboys fan before the Panthers came along. When they went 1-15, the 1 was against the Washington Redskins. So it was a successful year. So yeah, it hurts. And last year, the 1 in our 15-1 was who? The Falcons.
Atlanta.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's tough, man. Hate those guys.
So,
yeah,
is there,
it really.
All right,
I was going to say that the thing is, the rivalry with Atlanta has really intensified in recent years because last year they beat us. They were the one team to beat us. A couple of years ago, we had Matt Ryan talking about get the F off my field.
Mm-hmm.
We had the lead in one game, and we ended up losing, late in the game because of we didn't go for it on fourth down. Just, there's been a lot of history with the Falcons recently.
And Michael Vick.
That rivalry's intensified.
Yeah, guys.
I remember Nakamura, man, that little 5'2" safety.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Get the F off our field. That meant a lot to Mel. Mel wrote about, I feel like every year, this may be the first year we haven't seen get the F off our field post around October.
That one sticks with me, man.
I want to ask you guys this, is that if there was a game this year that you could have won, just one, wouldn't have changed the season necessarily, which one would it have been? Just to win one more.
Denver.
Who would you have wanted to beat?
Denver.
I second that.
That opening game, man, that could have changed the whole season.
I think it would have.
I think the mindset, just the confidence was rocked after that loss.
For me, I think it would be the Oakland game. And I know that's kind of weak sauce because, I just wanted to say the Denver game, but because the Denver game could have changed the whole tone of the entire season.
I really believe it would have. I really do.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
The other game would be the first Atlanta game. I mean, we got rocked to our core with the 300-yard Julio Jones game where our boy Sticky Wicky lost his job over it. And, that was a rough one.
All right, let me a lot of conversation going on YouTube right now. Joe D says this. Rivera has only had 2 playoff seasons in 6 years. I don't think that's right. I think we've been 3.
Yeah, we won the NFC Championship 3 times, so that automatically puts you in the playoffs.
Right.
He said if we don't make it to the playoffs next year, is that the end of him? All right. To add to that, have you guys seen the crazy stuff about how Rivera would be a good fit in LA for the Rams?
And that the Rams were interested in him, willing to trade?
Joey, how do you feel? Because you're a brown man on the show.
I think it's stupid. I really do. I don't think you should pick your coach based on his ethnicity. I think you pick your coach because of what he can bring to your team, how he's able to handle your team. Doesn't matter what his race or color or whatever it should be. He could be purple. As long as he does a good job coaching your team, that's what you really want. So it seems really foolish and someone just being asinine when they.
And my thoughts on it, I live out kind of near LA, a few hours from it. And I'm in LA. I'm in LA a lot, and something about that town, it does not matter what race you are. You just have to be a winner. So I mean, if you had a Latino and you're 0-16, those guys are at the beach. But if you're a cornbread snowflake and you're 16-0, you're the toast of the town.
Right, and let me say that there has been a Latino coach in that area.
Flores.
Tom Flores. Yeah, he coached the Raiders.
Yeah.
And won championships. So it's not like this is unprecedented.
That's right.
But I just don't. I think it's just silly. It's people being bored and having nothing better to do.
But let me ask you.
Don't get me wrong.
Would you take the deal?
When I take the deal, no. I like Ron Rivera too much. But if I was a Rams fan, I would really like him to come because of what he was able to do in Charlotte.
But just for the sake of good airtime, while the professor regroups here, let me ask you, what would it take? What if they offered hometown boy Todd Gurley and a first or second round pick?
That would be very tempting because, most of the C3 fans here know how much we love Todd Gurley. And yes, he has not ran the ball well this year. A lot of that, I think, is due to
crazy
who their coach was, Jeff Fisher. Their offensive line wasn't strong. Their quarterback play was awful. So teams know that they can load up the box and stop Todd Gurley, and they're going to have a hard time moving the ball through the air.
Mm-hmm. You know how New England's always good at taking away your best thing every week? Well, teams are able to do that against St. Louis because they're really only one-dimensional. So every week, that's all they focus on is stopping
Gurley.
So I'd be interested to hear out there in the Twitterverse and out there on YouTube, would you take Rivera for Gurley straight up, or would it take more, or is the conversation totally out the window?
Yeah, I'm sure there are people who feel, completely different from how we do. Again, if it was to really come down to it, I don't know that I would let Rivera go for just Gurley, but if you throw in a first round pick in addition to Gurley, now we've got something to seriously consider. Yeah. Second part to that question is who you're going to bring in as coach.
Yep.
You know what I mean? If you do let Rivera go, you're definitely not handing it over to Shula.
Nope.
Would you consider handing it over to McDermott? Because, he's an up-and-comer.
Yeah, he is. He is. Boy, just as long as you don't mention any of the Ryan brothers. I saw somebody on Twitter today saying, ooh, bring Rex Ryan to Charlotte. Oh, no, sir. Rob Ryan interviewed for the job that Rivera ended up getting.
Yeah. I'm sure once that interview was over, that resume went straight into file 13.
Exactly.
The round file.
Exactly. Oh, man. So Rex Ryan did get fired today. Did you see that?
Yeah, I sure did. It was no surprise.
I don't know why you do that a week before the season's over, though.
I know that does seem stupid. If you're going to do it then, why didn't you do it, on week 8 or something and get a real good look at the coach who's coming in?
You're not going to tell anything in the last game for,
No, not at all.
No.
I think the Bills, just an organization that, sometimes can't get out of their own way. And this is an example of that.
Our guy Joe D on YouTube talking about how we haven't made the playoffs but 2 times in 6 years, and the correction is 3 times in 6 years. Well, geez, Buffalo, this is what, year 17 with no playoffs?
Oh, you're kidding me.
No. And the company I work for, other than C3, because C3 is not the only thing I do, but the company I work for is headquartered in Rochester, New York, which is just down the road from Buffalo. So everybody there is a Buffalo Bills fan. And man, this is year 17 of no playoffs. That's just
wow. And for me, it doesn't seem all that long ago that they were
4 in a row,
4 years in a row.
Yeah, That was in the early '90s, though, man. That just goes and dates me.
It does. You're absolutely right. It does date us. They had some great teams then, and honestly, the team is fairly well talented now. They got Shady McCoy. They have Sammy Watkins, but he can't stay on the field, man. He cannot stay on the field.
That's a problem.
And their defense was supposed